A phone costing 10,000 rupees has an 120Hz display. A phone costing 20,000 rupees also has an 120Hz display. A phone costing 30,000 rupees, yep, has an 120Hz display. 40,000 rupees obviously has an 120Hz display. But a phone costing 70 to 80,000 rupees, it's 2024 and 60Hz is not justified when a phone is supposed to cost someone's 4 months worth of salary. And the worst part, people will still get in the line to buy it, and people will still give justifications like, well bro, you see iPhone 60Hz is very much the same as Android 120Hz. Yeah bro, nobody's buying that. You just spent a lot of money on a phone, so you have to say it's fine, when you clearly know it's not. But other than that, we are gonna see what's new with the upcoming iPhone 16 series, whose event date has officially been released, and it's the 9th of September, and pre-bookings will start after that. So should you stick with the iPhone 15 or upgrade to the iPhone 16, or if you wanted to buy the iPhone 15, should you consider the iPhone 16 series? First, let's talk about the big differences coming with the iPhone 16 series. So since the iPhone 11, I think this is the first time Apple is about to change the screen size of the Pro models, where till the iPhone 15 Pro we used to get the 6.1-inch OLED 120Hz display, but now we might get a bigger 6.3-inch 120Hz OLED display, and where in the iPhone 15 Pro Max we used to get the 6.7-inch display, which was already very big, will now get bigger to like 6.9-inch one. And also the bezels, which were already so thin, might get thinner thanks to the new Samsung M14 panels, which will also make the displays brighter while consuming less battery. The base iPhone 16 and the 16 Plus will most probably retain the same display sizes, but maybe with higher brightness. There wouldn't be any major design changes for the Pro models. It will still look similar to the iPhone 15 Pro models, but the iPhone 16 and the 16 Plus will now have sort of a new camera layout, which will be vertical one instead of the diagonal ones as before, which is pretty much similar to what the iPhone X or the 11 or the 12 once had. So yeah, finally people will be able to make out that this in fact is a newer device or a really old one, as opposed to the lookalike competition which was going on between the previous models. Like just slap on a case and most people wouldn't be able to tell if it's the iPhone 13 or the 15. This vertical arrangement is basically for the spatial video feature to be used in the Apple's VR headsets for that cool 3D like video effect while you are using the VR headset. Also the mute switch are being replaced by the action button on all of the iPhones. So yeah, finally bye bye mute switch. I mean, you could bring things like the dynamic island and the action button from the Pro series, but not even a 90Hz display on the base iPhones. And also there will be an introduction to a new button, a capture button, which will be useful for taking photos or videos or zooming in and out while using the cameras on landscape mode, which wouldn't be as useful to the selfie or reel making community, as for them recording in landscape mode is very similar to seeing a ghost. The iPhone 16 and the 16 Plus might use Apple A18 chipset, while the 16 Pro and the 16 Pro Max might use a A18 Pro chipset. And to be honest, I ain't expecting a lot of performance improvements, especially on the Pro models, as the A17 Pro was already so much powerful. Apple would instead focus more on AI or Apple Intelligence according to Apple, and for that all of the iPhone 16 lineup is receiving 8GB of RAM, and it's the bare minimum for running AI tasks, which was only available in the iPhone 15 Pro models only, and the base iPhone 15 and 15 Plus might not get any AI features as they only had 6GB of RAM. So if you wanted to use the Apple AI features and already use a 15 Pro or Pro Max, it would be fine, but if you're using an iPhone 15 or 15 Plus, yeah, you basically would get nothing. You can see this battery upgrade chart, and apart from the iPhone 16 Plus, all of them gets at least some improvements, but the iPhone 16 Plus for some weird reasons might get downgraded to around 9% from before, and that could impact the battery life of the phone negatively, as the iPhone Plus models were famous for its battery life, but now it seems it might not happen again. And also the battery improvements might not be enough for the Pro models considering the jump in the screen sizes. So yeah, the battery life of these phones will be a big question. But you now get a faster wired charging at 40 watts and up to 20 watts wireless charging, but only on the Pro models, while the base models will be stuck at 20 watts wired charging and 15 watts wireless charging, but either ways you have to buy a charger separately for all of them. Now talking about some minor improvements, the camera hardware of the base iPhone 16 and 16 Plus might be the same as the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus, but maybe with some newer features and better processing, whereas the iPhone 16 Pro might get the same 5x periscope zoom which were always preserved for the Pro Max models, and maybe the iPhone 16 Pro Max might use a 10x zoom, maybe, who knows, but both of them will be using a newer 48 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. And also to reduce the lens flaring on iPhones, Apple might use a newer and better lens coating. Also the Pro models might have a graphene sheet underneath the back cover for better heat distribution in order to reduce heating issues, and also a newer Snapdragon X75 modem for better network stability. But everything will boil down to the pricing. So the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus might retain last year's pricing, which will be around 80,000 for the base iPhone 16 and around 90,000 for the iPhone 16 Plus, but the Pro models will now cost higher at about 1,40,000 for the iPhone 16 Pro and about 1,60,000 for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And these are for the base variants, which is 128GB for the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus and 256GB for the iPhone 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max. But the pricing of the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus might change if it comes with 256GB as the base storage. Also the iPhone 15 series had a whitish pastel color finish, and this time it might be opposite for the iPhone 16 series with deeper color options, and for the iPhone 16 Pro series the colors might be overall the same with the introduction of this rusting metal color. I don't know what to call this exactly. So the main question, should you buy the iPhone 16 or get the iPhone 15 at cheaper price, or should you upgrade from the iPhone 15? Well, if you want to use the AI features, the spatial video features, want the new action and capture buttons with sort of a new design, then you might get the iPhone 16 or upgrade to the iPhone 16. Else don't, as there's not much of a big difference between the two. Same goes for the iPhone 15 Plus and the 16 Plus. And as for the iPhone 15 Pro users, you don't need to upgrade as you won't miss out on anything huge. So yeah, this was my final iPhone 16 leaks video before the actual release. So yeah, if you want to stay updated, then do click the subscribe button and like this video. And so till the next one, this was Rideep. See you guys.